Hello, my name is Neil. I'm one of the Rosslyn Chapel guides, and what I'd like to show you today is a very intriguing series of carvings in the east end, or the Lady Chapel of Rosslyn, and it's one of my favourite parts of the building. Now, what we're looking at here is a series of carvings that show patterns that I've always thought to be some kind of code. This is even mentioned in Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code book, although this here has nothing to do with Leonardo, as far as we know. What the patterns seem to represent is a series of sounds or musical notes. A man called Stuart Mitchell and his father Thomas were intrigued by this. They were both composers and musicians and interested in cymatics, the study of sound made visible. And so they did many years of research, copying all these patterns and finding out the sound that created them. And so the pattern represents the sound that produces it in various materials like a fine powder or sand or salt, for instance. And so recognizing the note that the pattern represented, there are 13 notes, a series of musical notes that represent a piece of music. Now, this might simply be the idea of sound, but Stuart reckoned that this was a melody, and he calls this the Rosslyn Motet, or the music of the cubes. Now, the patterns are on all of these ribs on the vault of the Lady Chapel, and as the ribs come down with a series of notes on them, you find at the end of each of these ribs an angelic musician playing musical instruments that are typical of 15th century instruments. And there's even a depiction of an angel playing bagpipes, and this is one of the earliest known depictions of bagpipes, certainly in Scotland, quite rare. And so the idea of angels playing musical instruments and the music that they're playing is quite fascinating to me. And in the roof of the Lady Chapel, in the vault, there is a depiction of the Nativity. And so the angels seem to be celebrating the birth of Christ. Maybe one day you'll be able to come to Rosslyn to see this for yourself.